completely the opposite. I'm like, I am Catholic.
Yeah.
Love me for me.
Yeah. And I've had friends who like struggled with like sharing their faith.
Yeah.
But like I think ever since like my conversion, like even in like job applications for like secular jobs, they're like, "Oh, is there anything else we need to know?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a practicing Catholic." They're like, "Oh, so what does that mean?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I can't work on Sundays."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, interesting." But to be honest, I got
Yo.
a lot of jobs.
Praise
But you
God.
know-
Good for
Yeah,
you for
I
not saying
did.
I can't work on Sundays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
because even if
I've quit several jobs because they've made me work on a Sunday.
really,
Yeah.
my current job struggles with like me taking off so many Sundays because I can only work weekends.
Mhm.
But going to church in the morning and then having youth group at night, I have to take off
Mhm.
Sundays because like if I want to be at youth group, because I usually work the night shift, I want to be at youth group. I can't work.
Mhm.
So it's that they get it, but they don't because they'll let me take it off, but it's like a fight.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm taking this off whether you like it or not, and if you put me in, I'm not coming. So like, but
was
that's just
basically
me.
me.
I
Yeah.
think I've been working Sundays for like 10 years now.
That's because you
Yeah,
work at the church.
I work at a church. So
There you go.
Praise God, praise God.
Mhm.
no worries.
The
no
church
problems.
pays him.
Yep, they do. Praise God. Praise God for
Praise
those.
God.
For the
Yeah.
church. Yeah.
Like I've actually had like people like coworkers that say like, "Oh, like that's the priest guy."
Oh,
Or, like,
Yes,
yeah, me
I
too.
had
yeah.
that.
But I'm like, yo,
But not the priest.
I'm like
obviously.
that.
Church girl.
A
Yeah.
church girl.
Yeah.
Church girl. Yeah.
Yeah. But then like after a while, like I didn't let it bother me, and I still like showed them love.
Yeah.
And then like if I ever had to like leave, they would be like, "Yo, we're gonna miss you."
Yeah.
I had the same
Oh
thing.
my
When I
God.
was 15, I worked at, I don't know if you know it, Professor's Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was a slide guard. So my job, I got a nice tan. So it was worth it. But
you get tanned?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, no,
The Portuguese blood
The
within
Portuguese,
us
yeah.
makes us tan.
Yeah, so my job was to tell kids to like go down the slide, and so when they first okay, I
All right,
got to meet
kids,
a lot of kids.
go
I
down
got
the
to meet a
slide.
lot of kids. It was cute. But when I first had to give in my schedule, I told them that I wanted Sundays off. And they asked me why, and I told them, "Oh, because I go to church." Like, okay, that's fine. So they respected it, but people got to know me as like the church girl.
Oh, 100%.
And I let it bother me for so long, but then I realized I was like, you know what? If people call me the church girl, it means that my actions are doing something right.
Yeah,
That means
That's
I am
like-
the church girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, it
That's
means
a
they can
win.
see God in me,
That's a-
so we're
yeah,
good.
that's a win.
We're
That's a
okay.
W.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was this. It was actually so sad. There was this mother and her two sons. That I was working at Top Man at the time
Love
at
Top
the Eden Center, and they were like looking for suits. And I don't normally go work in the suits because like I was just new, but like no one was there, and I just saw like, oh, like is there anything I can help you with? And she was just like, yeah, we're looking for two suits for my kids because their father just passed away. And I was
my
like,
goodness.
oh my goodness, like is there like how? And I just like in a way I did ministry for them.
Oh.
And and I was just talking to them, like
You're a hero,
helping them like figure out like what size their shirts are, like what color their suit is gonna be, tie, shoes, and yeah, and I spent like a whole hour and a half with them. And then when they were leaving, their bill was like $2,000
Oh my
or something like that.
You put them on that drip, bro.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
when I was like, okay, like I'll pray for the soul of your father, and they're like, okay, thank you so much. We had a great experience here, and to be honest, you've made this experience so great.
Oh my
And
gosh.
when I left, when we parted ways at the end of the shift, when we were closing, my manager said like, oh, I want to give a shout out to one of our employees, AJ. Like he made a $2,000 sale, and they only emphasized the sale, but in my heart, I already knew that like that was not my
That wasn't
focus.
the
That was the wit.
Yeah,
Not about the
Yeah.
numbers.
and yeah, so yeah, sure, I got acknowledged for the work that I did, but like that didn't matter to me. And yeah, it was just like one of those moments that I was like, man, like even if you're working in a secular job, God can introduce you to like people He wants you to meet.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, today was a good day at work then.
Yeah.
So
Praise God.
Yeah.
So be it, yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah, I remember when I worked at the lake, I met so many kids, and there was this one time where I think it was an ASL camp. Some of the kids that were in the camp were deaf, and then some of the kids weren't, but were in the camp because they were learning how to do ASL.
oh wow,
So-
Either probably then kids of deaf parents or hard of hearing.
Yeah, and
There's
so,
lots of different things.
Yeah, so with with professors, like, especially the slide guards, we don't have the most exciting job. But you can make it exciting based on the relationships that you make with the kids, right?
Yeah.
So when I found out that this deaf camp came, the only thing I know how to sign is my name is Laura. And so when one of the girls who was deaf, she came up, she had her translator, so another little girl that was next to her.
Oh, that's cute.
I
man,
signed
that's
to the
cute.
girl, I said, my name is Laura, and she got so excited. She was jumping up and down like she was waiting to do it on the slide. She got so excited, and she started signing to me, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And so I asked the little girl, I was like, can you translate for me? And so the little girl was talking to me. She's like, oh, she says this, this, and this. And so I was able to talk to the deaf girl through the other little girl, the translator. Yeah, and I think, like, that day I took so much away because it just reminded me, especially about our faith, like, about how we personalize relationships, and, like, you can make God in anything that you do, even if it's not, like, specifically Catholic. Like, my job was not Catholic. And
Well, that's what we're trying to
but-
do with Kingdom 8.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And Keystone Podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Bless you.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Going to what you were saying about personalizing relationships, because going back to our sisterhood, I think me and you, and then me and Sarah have very different, like, outside of this sisterhood, have very different, like, we relate to each other differently, like, very, like, on different levels. Yeah, and it's really cool because me and Sarah are both extroverted, and you're the introvert, Laura.
Yep.
So me and Sarah very much, like, we enjoy the going out. We enjoy, like, hanging out all the time, whereas she's like, I'll stay at home.
I'm a homebody.
Which is, like, perfectly fine. But it's just cool how we relate, like, to each other differently, and then our relationship with God kind of unites us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the keystone.
Yeah.
It is the keystone.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for us, I think. Right? Like, what do you normally do?
I don't even know. Like, what do you mean?
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't even know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you
Like, what
normally
do you
What
like?
do you
Like,
mean? Yeah.
you know how they said, like, they like to, when she's with
Go
Sarah,
out
they
and
go
stuff.
go out.
I don't know.
I know you like to go to prayer meeting,
Yeah, that's the Friday night flex.
and then he stays up till like 3 a.m.
Yo, sometimes with the Brown Crew, man, things get wild. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You're locked in. You're locked in.
Well, that's just us. We're up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the way we roll.
I am an old man. Once like 12 o'clock hits, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
like, time to go to bed.
Okay, Grandpa.
Honestly, yo, I'm wearing
grandpa
the
cardigan.
I'm wearing the cardigan. I'm like looking at the time, and I'm like, yo. So,
I don't know. What do I do? I don't know what I do. I think I study. I go to the gym too.
you've been.
I've
oh,
gym
I've
class.
been. Okay.
I've been going to the gym. I've been going to the gym.
Excuse me. How much times have I been? The second time we did Exodus, even the first time we did Exodus.
Man, no, you've been great.
Yeah.
To fill people in. So so AJ and I, we've done Exodus twice now, and the first time, gymming was a difficulty
must.
for me. I mean, it's a must all the time,
Yeah.
right? It's part of the disciplines. We have to make it out. I think thrice a week. I made it out probably 0 times a week on average. On average.
On average.
Yeah, and then the second time, I didn't even attempt. I was like, guys, I know I can't do it. I know I can't do it, but I was doing other things that I wasn't doing like the first time around. Like daily mass was something I really got into my schedule. And that was like the thing for that Exodus. So this Exodus coming up Saturday, we're doing round 3.
Yep.
Amen. Oh
good
my
for
goodness.
you.
Good job, guys.
It's gonna be gym and mass.
Ooh.
It's actually
And you know what? I don't want to spend more time at the gym. More time than I spend with
for sure.
Jesus
For
at
sure.
mass or
That
at
should be
adoration, right? So it's
that
like,
should be the case.
if I want to crunch out those squats or whatever, I gotta spend time with Christ.
Yeah, and I think I'm really excited for our 3rd time. As weird as that
bro.
sounds,
Let's do it
because
right.
like.
Let's do it
Yeah,
right, man.
like after doing it the first time and doing it the second time, we at least you, Andre, and myself have always said like we haven't experienced Exodus to its fullness because there's at least some aspects that we haven't fully given ourselves to.
Yeah.
And it's great this 3rd time around because we have 3 people who have done it for
3 times.
3 brothers who will be doing it for the 3rd time. We have 3 brothers who will be doing it for the 2nd time. And we have 1 brother who will be doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And what's great about this experience is it's like that journey of like mentorship as well. And also our spiritual director, Father Jim, is actually going to be doing the whole thing with us.
Wow.
Last time he was like, "You guys are crazy. I'm never going to do this."
At the start,
Yeah.
we actually saw a transition with Father Jim, because at the start he'd pop in every now and again, do quick 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then he'd leave for Legion of Mary or something. Actually, at the start, I don't know if it was Legion of Mary.
It was.
He left. Okay, it was, yeah. But then towards the end, he'd be staying longer and longer and longer, and be like, "Guys, like, I actually."
You guys got him.
Trying
You
to,
roped him
yeah,
in.
we got him.
Yeah, no.
Got
What
him.
what he said was like, "No, you guys are in it to win it. Like, you guys are serious, and that inspires me."
Yeah.
And
oh
then
my goodness.
and then I was just talking to him, like I had lunch with him, I had dinner with him, and just talking to him about like if he's wanting to be like our spiritual director. And then like he messages me like 2 days afterwards.
messaged
Yeah,
you.
he messaged me.
Praise God.
He's like, "Hey, like
That's
is there a book that I could look at that would allow me to journey with you guys more?" I'm like, "You mean like the manual?" And he's like, yeah, that. I'm like, "Why do you need the manual?" He's like, "Because I actually want to do it with you guys." I was
Yeah.
like,
That's
I looked at him and I was like, "You're
Praise God.
crazy."
Yeah.
bro."
Oh my goodness.
And like, yeah, no, it's very exciting. Like
Oh,
our
that's so
Exodus
exciting.
team is like, it's really blessed, and it seems like we've leveled up
Yeah, man.
from the first time to the second time to the third
The
time.
growth is there,
Upgrade.
man.
And
Growth.
actually, what
And
people
that
don't know
patience came
is that
through.
like I haven't filled you in yet, but just finalize the roster, and we will also have an intercessor,
Oh,
someone praying for us throughout our Exodus.
that's awesome.
So we have not only spiritual director, like people that have done it 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, but also like an intercessor praying for
That's
us.
awesome.
Yeah.
And like like God is just delivering, and
We'll
I'm
be
just
praying
like,
for you.
Yeah,
as
we're
well.
praying
thank
for
you
you.
so much,
Yeah.
because
that.
Lord knows that. Yeah, 3rd time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the 3rd time in a year and a half. So
Yeah.
we really have been doing Exodus more times than we have not been out of Exodus.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done anything like to that extreme, like me and you, or 3 of us. I mean, like I was just thinking when you guys were talking about Exodus and like the bond, the way we bonded. I just remembered
Yeah.
Stubby.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I
Stevie,
think
Ohio.
that when you have
Oh,
a brotherhood
you
and when
guys
you
went
have
Yeah, in 2015.
it's so awesome.
Awesome.
And 2016, did you go in 2016?
I didn't go 2016, but 2015 we
Yeah.
we
That's
camped on the
sweet.
floor together.
We slept on the floor.
I'd love to.
And-
On top of a spider
I killed my first spider.
Okay.
I was very
because
proud.
I couldn't.
I was
Congrats.
very proud.
Because I couldn't.
She wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I was screaming. I was like, "You're killing it. I'm not doing it." And I think that was how we, and just like Stubby in general is such a, at the time,
Yeah.
for us,
I
such a formating from
Yeah. I think
English?
formative
Formative,
There we go.
yes.
time
For mating.
yeah
For
formating.
mating.
For mating?
I think the thing with these like
No, someone's on a date.
I will cut that. I will.
Yes,
cut
I
that.
am
No.
on a dating fast. Cut that out, please.
No, I think I think having these like brotherhoods and these sisterhoods and these programs allows us to be vulnerable with each other,
Yeah.
right? And I think from that vulnerability comes growth, right? Comes getting to know who is this person, what are their wounds, what makes them suffer, right?
Yeah.
And understanding what makes someone suffer, I think, brings you closer to them and puts you in more of a position to like actually help them
Yeah.
in the way that they need help, not in the way that you want to help.
Yeah.
And I think also witnessing the growth. That's the best part, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Witnessing
greatest things.
the journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with whatever you do, whether it be like just going to mass or going to retreats like Rise Up or Stewie.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
growth
think
is
it's one of the
probably-
greatest things to
Yeah.
see is because you love this person so much. So to see them grow with God almost like brings you so much closer to Him as well. So it's just like you're not only journeying alongside each other, but like you're pushing each other forward. You're like, let's go, we got this, like together.
Yeah. One thing that I was saying to a friend recently, he was saying like, "Yo, AJ, like you, like Andre and Ken are like good guys." I'm like, "They're not good guys, they're great guys."
Oh.
And
Thanks,
and
bro.
I said to them, I'm like, when looking for friends, surround yourself with friends you do not deserve.
Amen.
In the
Because
sense- yeah, in the sense that like because you do, they will sharpen you and you will strive to reach at their level. And so when you surround yourself with people you don't deserve, and especially like even maybe in a relationship, when you then you will want to work harder, right? You want to strive, you want to reach that bar even higher.
For sure.
So like when it comes to our brotherhood, like we see each other with different virtues, different strengths, and we have different weaknesses. But because we cover